Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face. Welcome back to another episode of this Motorsport Manager career. We're back with our Audi career today, Project Audi. We have the Cape Town Grand Prix coming up, which is the stand-in in this game for the Monaco Grand Prix. It is a track which we should be really good at. The gearbox, the brakes, the front wing, all the parts we're above average at. We've upgraded our gearbox between the last race and this race. Second best overall, obviously nowhere near that Ferrari. Ferrari must be miles ahead as it comes to the gearbox, but brakes, front wing, all important parts, we're above average in all those, so it should be a decent race. Hopefully another race where we can get both cars into the points would be the aim for this race, before we then move on to Vancouver, which is the absolute opposite. Suspension, rear wing, engine, all those parts more than below average. That's possibly going to be a disaster of a race once it comes to that. Meanwhile, we're still currently working on a new engine. That's what we've gone ahead and built next. I don't think it's going to be good enough to get us towards average. As you can see, we're 10th overall there. It's not going to be ready for Vancouver, but it will be ready for the German Grand Prix. But the engine doesn't play a big part there. But the engine sort of is the main component in the car in this game. It does have the biggest overall effect. So hopefully we can make some big strides forward before we get to our home Grand Prix in Germany. That is the plan. That is the aim. Meanwhile, we have upgraded the pit crew. We've managed to get a pretty decent pit crew in already. We're up to first. I do not think this 2.2 seconds is the quickest. I'm guessing there is, because we've still got a bit of upgrading that we can do here. Whatever his name is, Hans Wilhelm Leno. He's sort of the weak link. He's pretty decent, but he is the weak link at the moment. He is someone that does need upgrading. I'm hoping that we can get, at some point this season, a sub 2 second pit stop. Will be absolutely outstanding if we could do that, but 2.2 seconds is not too bad at the moment to get in and out. I think we started about 3.5 seconds, so we've picked up 1.3 seconds in the pits over the first 5 races of the season. Meanwhile, I'm not going to go through the new parts in all the AI team cars. We're going to wait till qualifying before we go over what the other cars have improved, but we'll just quickly go here. We see that Williams have moved up to 6. I think we hover around 6th or 7th. We've been swapping with Aston Martin, but Aston Martin have dropped down and Williams have shot up to 6th place overall here. So that is good for Williams. They have been qualifying really well in the early part of the season. Kevin Magnussen was on the front row of the grid at one point, which was an absolutely outstanding qualifying. I don't know what the reasoning for that was, but Williams have been qualifying really well. I don't think they've actually picked up a point though. No, they haven't. Just absolute race day pace has just been absolutely shoddy for them. But we're going to get in. We've got Vettel and Stoffel Van Dorn in the car, but we're going to get into practice, which we'll skip over, and we'll be back in a second for qualifying. So practice is over. We looked pretty handy during practice. Van Dorn was 4th overall. Nice and steady, nice and quick. He was 1st overall at one point. I think Hulkenberg ended up being quickest during practice. Vettel though was 10th, a lot slower than Van Dorn. They do run the same sim. They go out, do the qualifying trim, do the race trim, both on the same tyres and everything. Things are equal during practice, but Vettel slower. Look at that, by about 3/10 slower than Van Dorn. So once again, he's slower. The setup's not there on either car. We can make one more change here. We're sort of way off with the way, so I'm guessing it's somewhere in the middle here. We sort of want to keep the handling the same as it was, so we'll just knock the tyre camber one way or the other. Yes, that should do. We want to start on the ultras, and pretty much the same with Van Dorn. The speed balance is off, so where we were at great, just a notch below there, so we want to be heading back that way. We'll leave it at about that. It's not perfect for the setup, but that is what we can get out here. Entering part firmly now, so no more adjustments here. So I'm actually going to let Van Dorn go out first, then Vettel, and then Vettel out first, and Van Dorn out last here, since he's sort of like the de facto number 1 driver here, since he's been doing a lot better in the early part of the season. We're going to see what he can do going out last in qualifying this time around. So we'll get both cars out around about now. We'll get Vettel out of the pits as well. And whilst both these cars are going round, we'll just have a quick look at what the other cars have done. If I just get my notebook out here, there wasn't a lot of upgrades done to the cars in the interim between the last race and this race. Mercedes have got a new suspension, not a massive improvement. Red Bull have gone ahead and put a new front wing on their car, a new upgraded front wing for them, which should prove well for this race. Williams have put a new suspension on their car as well. not a massive impact for this race, but that suspension was quite a big upgrade, which has pushed them to 6th in the overall charts, as we see both our cars now setting times on track. Still go through the notebook here. McLaren have got a new front wing as well, which is good for this race. And then we've got Haas and ourselves, who have both got new upgraded gearboxes, which again is an important part of this race. But as we see, Van Dorn has set his first lap, has come in, well, he's higher than Vettel. He's sort of sliding down the order now. Not as good as I wanted. I thought we would be doing better. We've got Williams out on track. Latifi goes, where did Latifi go there? Latifi up into 6th there in that Williams. Magnussen, not good at all for him in that Williams. He's been qualifying really well as of late. But as it is the Renault, the Ferraris. Where are the Ferraris here? Leclerc down in 12th. Hulkenberg 18th. Ferraris struggling for some reason here. Keep wanting to call it Monaco. It's not Monaco here. It's not. It is Cape Town. But we've got a Renault on pole position at the moment. A Verstappen in the Mercedes doing well for a change. Then we've got a Haas up here. We've got Vips in an AlphaTauri in 5th place. It's going to be another one of those crazy qualifying sessions where we've got everyone sort of out of order, and we're 13th and 16th. We really want to improve on that as this goes on. We've got a few cars out. We've got Russell, who's going quicker in his Aston Martin at the moment. Should we get one of our cars out now whilst the track's pretty clear? Should we get Vettel out, since he's one of the ones that needs to improve a little bit more? Track grip is not fully in, but it's not going to improve much. We're going to get Vettel out whilst we've got a clear track. Russell's going to come across. Can he improve on his 23rd? Is Russell going to improve? 23rd up to 19th, so not a massive improvement there. And meanwhile, we're going to get Van Dorn out of the pits right about now. I think we've got a couple out here. Verstappen's out on track. There's still a few cars in the pits. Norris has not come out for his 2nd run yet. Is some of the... oh, have we got cars doing a 3rd run here? Don't usually see other cars back out around now. Obviously, Vips has come out early because he's one of the lower rated cars. They usually come out a lot earlier, but we've got Hulkenberg out. Newgarden has done his 2nd run, so hopefully we can improve with both our cars. 13th and 16th is not a good overall time for us. I think Van Dorn is following Lewis Hamilton, who's down in 15th at the moment. This qualifying grid is all over the place at the moment. So what is going to happen here? Vettel is currently through his lap. He's not going any quicker here. Vettel is a long way off his last pace. 1.2 he doesn't improve. He did a 1.296 over that lap, so he's actually slower. Van Dorn, meanwhile, he's slower as well. I'm guessing maybe the clouds come out. The track's not at the optimal temperature, so it doesn't look like many people going quicker, although we've got Sainz in the McLaren. Hulkenberg going quicker. Leclerc is slower as well, so no one really improving here during this 2nd run other than... yeah, not much improvement there. Hulkenberg in 19th, Leclerc 14th. Maybe the run, the domination that Ferrari have had in the early going of the season here is coming to an end. We're 15th and 20th. How are we so slow? We've got 2 McLarens there, 4th and 5th, a really good qualifying from them. A Haas, an AlphaTauri, a Williams, and we've got a Red Bull. Where's Alonso? Alonso's 16th. Absolutely crazy qualifying session here. We'll just skip over it because we do go fully down the grid order before we do get into the race. But it's a bit of a weird one. So we've got 59 laps here. It is a very long race. We do have both cars outside the top 10, so we can go for this hardest tyre if we want to. Could we do 23.46? That would be pushing it, wouldn't it? I do want to use maybe go 2 super softs and an ultra during this race. Maybe the soft would be better. It's not too hot though, so the hardest tyre compound isn't going to be... we're going to have to do a lot to keep it up to temperature, and we got there with the setup in the end. So that is how we're going to run. I think we're going to run both cars like that, or should we run... Van Dorn can't get as far, can he? So we do need to see... Van Dorn's probably going to have to go super soft, maybe then onto the ultras, then onto the softs. He doesn't have the same option as Vettel since he's not as smooth with the tyres. So since we are starting on the super soft, we're going to take the super soft bonus for both cars. I didn't run at all on the softs during practice, and we'll just have a little bit of a push as we usually do from the off. It is a random roll, but anyway, front row of the grid, Daniel Ricciardo in the Renault up to speed here. They've got Ocon just behind in 3rd place. Then we have Max in the Mercedes. Lando Norris is 4th in the McLaren. Excellent qualifying for him, followed by his teammate Carlos Sainz in the other McLaren. 6th is Joseph Newgarden in the Haas. Absolutely outstanding qualifying for them. Yuri Vips, who is off form, Vips is off form, but still gets that AlphaTauri up into 7th place. Nicholas Latifi is 8th in the Williams, a great qualifying for him. Albon in the Red Bull, 9th. Bottas, what's he got wrong with him? He's got a dodgy neck in the Alpha. He's 10th overall. Gasly, would be a dodgy neck as well. Yes, he is in the second AlphaTauri, 11th. Really good qualifying session for the AlphaTauri. Stroll will be starting on the softs in the Aston Martin, 12th for him. Prema, Mick Schumacher up there, 13th as well. Charles Leclerc all the way down in 14th. Van Dorn, 15th for us. Fernando Alonso, he's got a dodgy neck as well, 16th in the Red Bull. Schwartzman in the Prema is 17th. Hamilton, 18th in the Mercedes. Hulkenberg there in the Ferrari, 19th. And then we got Vettel. Look at that. 18th, a Mercedes. 19th, a Ferrari. And then Vettel in 20th place. I don't know what is up with Vettel here. Magnussen not qualifying as well as he usually does in that Williams 21st. George Russell 22nd in the Aston Martin. And then a back row of the Alfa and Haas. Giovinazzi, Perez, respectively, at the back of the grid. Aston Martin not doing too well here, and Perez in that Haas obviously not keeping up with his teammate here in the early going. We're going to follow Van Dorn since he's a little bit further up. Actually, we're not going to follow anyone there. The camera sort of leaves behind, but Van Dorn, we're going to actually go up once we've got the race actually started. Just switch up here. We sort of got a gaggle of cars here. Van Dorn has lost the place over the start. Verstappen has got the lead at the moment from Daniel Ricciardo. Are we battling away? Is that Vettel trying to go around the outside as we come into this little thing by the water fountain? And that is Vettel. He's going to get Van Dorn here, is he? Just absolute crazy. Everyone's just sticking together here through the early part of the race. Not much separation on track at the moment. Who is that behind that? Is Hulkenberg still up there? And possibly Hamilton is still around here as well. So we're just sort of caught up in this massive bunch of cars. You've got Ferraris, Red Bulls, McLarens all running at the back here. Not a McLaren, a Mercedes. McLarens are actually doing pretty well. Sainz has got into third. He's got ahead of his teammate. Norris is currently in fourth. Norris has dropped back a bit. He's gone for a different tyre strategy as Norris. They've put Norris on the slower tyre, which sort of explains why Sainz and the other two cars are getting away from him a little bit. He's going to maybe have a little bit of hard time hanging on to that 4th place at the moment from Newgarden. And then we've got the two AlphaTauris behind. Vettel, meanwhile, has got himself up into 13th place. We're just going to sort of dial back and watch these tyres for a little bit. What is the AI doing? Still got a lot of them pushing. Meanwhile, we're still going to push with Van Dorn here as alongside Hulkenberg. Obviously, we don't have the same power as that Ferrari, but that Ferrari not dealing with this track too well. Although where has Leclerc? No, Leclerc, he's all the way up into 12th. Leclerc is not making much progress through the field as Van Dorn goes for a move. The Ferrari gets past. Who was that he got past? Hulkenberg, was it? Yes, was it? They're all switching around. There's Albon, Alonso all around here. And there it is. Who is it? It's Albon behind at the moment. Just look at that. The Red Bull. 2 Red Bulls and a Ferrari going 3 wide. And then Van Dorn makes use of that. Manages to get past Albon and Hulkenberg. Might lose out to Albon here. These tyres are starting to shred now. We want to. We're going to have to try cool down a bit. Maybe give up. Try to battle these Red Bulls. We do want to make sure that we can 2-stop this race on the strategy that we want. That is the main priority here, rather than try to battle with Ferraris and Red Bulls. Although we don't want them to lose too many places. We don't want that. Actually, we can probably go into neutral, and this tyre should cool down as well now that we've got it out of the danger zone. Vettel has got himself up to 11th place. Absolutely great start for him. He's got in front of Charles Leclerc here. He's got Valtteri Bottas in front of him in that Alpha. Bottas had a really poor start to the season in the Alpha. He's come back a lot recently, although a lot of that could be down to the Alpha finally took the upgraded Ferrari engine. Has managed to get them up the order here a little bit. Meanwhile, Van Dorn is starting to move up here. He's now got past. Have we managed to get past after cooling the tyre down? Have we got past one? Yeah, we stayed ahead of the Red Bull and the Ferrari. That is an AlphaTauri that slipped all the way down. Is it? Nope. Yes, that is Gasly. Gasly was running really high up at one point, wasn't he? Because I'm sure I saw the two AlphaTauris alongside each other. But Vips, he's on for an absolutely outstanding qualifying set. He's on for an outstanding race here. Is Yuri Vips, maybe as we've seen with Red Bull in the past, and that is Vettel. Leclerc has managed to get past both Bottas and Vettel. As we've seen with Red Bull in the past, maybe they're going to think about dropping one of their drivers. Obviously, they won't drop Alonso down to the AlphaTauri, but could Vips move up to Red Bull in his first season, like Albon did, like other drivers of the past? Verstappen and so on and so forth. But this, yeah, as we talk about Verstappen, we look, he's 6 seconds ahead away from Daniel Ricciardo. This is a better race from Renault this time around. Obviously, a lot of the teams looking to claw back a lot of points towards Ferrari. They've got one car in the points. Leclerc picking up a point if this stayed as it was, but Albon is moving up the order. He's managed to get past Vettel now. We're just in a process of cooling everything down still at the moment. Van Dorn still hanging on to this 15th place. So this doesn't look like the race I thought it was going to be for us. There is still a hell of a long way to go. We've got a Prema in front of Mick Schumacher. Vettel has now slipped down to 13th under pressure from that Prema. If we can maybe get Van Dorn past here, we want to get past that Prema of Mick Schumacher. We leave the camera behind again. Let's jump in a little bit further down. Can we get this Prema? That is the main thing that we want to do here. Van Dorn going wheel to wheel. Can't quite make the move. We're using... and that's an AlphaTauri going through. That is Pierre Gasly going through. Van Dorn struggling with pushing here. We might as well just try recover. Maybe put Van Dorn in auto drive for a little bit. See what the AI can do for him. And we'll just concentrate on Vettel for the next few laps, because we're in this battle currently with Alexander Albon. So let's get him turned up, see if we can get this move made up into 12th place. That is absolutely brilliant. And now Bottas is in our sights. He's about a second up the road, and that is our aim at the moment, just to try get somewhere near Valtteri Bottas. Obviously we might be able to jump them in the pits, so should we go, will we have the option to go early? We've done 9, we've got 12. It looks like we can... We're not going to quite get the tyre life out of the tyre. We may have to go soft at some point. It's just going to be a question of what we can get as we go on. But are we going to go early and maybe use a soft tyre at some point? Could be an option, try go early. The pit is pretty short, but I'm guessing with this corner it should be about 20 seconds. Will put us back 48 seconds. We would have air, but obviously by the time it comes to go into the pits, we will be a bit further back than that. But Vettel has moved up into 11th place. Has someone dropped down? Is that Nicholas Latifi dropping down the order in that Williams? Is he going slow? Is Latifi going slow? Is he shredded tyres? Yeah, Latifi's shredded tyres. Williams throwing it away. They've gone through a pair of Ultras. How long does Ultras last? 15 laps you should be able to go. That Williams has been absolutely pushing to try stay up there. Lost the tyre totally, have fallen down, whereas Vettel has given up 11th place to Alexander Albon here. But Williams struggling as it is for race pace. I don't know what it is, whether their tyres are just not lasting. But yeah, the tyres just totally went off the cliff there for Latifi. Lost a load of places before he came into the pits. Went a lap too late, did the Williams team. And there Vettel gets back past again in this wonderful battle that we've got going on here. We're managing to keep up this Ferrari. This Ferrari just totally not suited to this track. Hulkenberg, who won his first race of his career, the first race that he won this season, last time out, is currently struggling 17th. Obviously he's on a hard tyre, so you would expect this Ferrari, once it gets onto a quicker compound towards the end of the race, that they're going to pick up some time. But maybe they should have gone with the Ultras in the early going. This soft tyre doesn't seem to be working at all. But we say that, but Hamilton has managed to get himself up into 7th place. What is he currently doing? A 122 to our 124 on the super softs. A 123. Yeah, so Hamilton getting a lot out of that tyre. He's still managing to go pretty well. We've got the computer managing Van Dorn. Oh, I think I'd left him in overtake mode there, but and there we go. Vettel makes a brilliant move on Charles Leclerc. Is he going to make it stick? Vettel on his own teammate here manages to make that move stick on a Ferrari. Not a thing that we'd see this season. Getting past a Ferrari. I know we're shredding our tyre at the moment to do it, but we're up into the points at least, and in a good position here. And we see a lot of cars are coming. Well, one car's coming to the bits. That's Latifi. So 34 will put us back to 54. So there is still a nice gap here. Would that actually, does that actually work out? Would that put us estimated position 23rd? Yeah, so it is about a 20-second pit stop, or it could be anywhere after that, couldn't it? Yep, you're just doing your own thing, Van Dorn. You've got to look after yourself at the moment. I'm not going to put him on auto pit though, but we'll just follow on with Vettel. He's managing to stay away from Charles Leclerc here as well, doing pretty well up in this 10th place. We're starting to see a few other cars coming in. Carlos Sainz has come in for the McLaren. Got out into traffic though. which isn't good, and the traffic is a Ferrari and a Red Bull and an Audi of us, obviously, which puts Vettel up into 9th. Obviously Sainz is quite a lot closer, 42. He's only 6 seconds behind us after making his pit stop, so that is not a place that we can think about making, even if he does get held up by traffic. And he has managed to already get himself past a Ferrari. Sainz, or has he? Has it? Yes, he has. He's managed to make that move stick as Carlos Sainz. Ocon is into the pits. Ocon is into the pits. 9th, 11th. Where's he going to come out? Into 22nd. So that is a long way back for Ocon. And a lot of traffic. And we're slightly going a little bit longer. We can go to... oh, not the Ultra, super soft. 15% cliff, I think. I think the cliff is 15%. We're currently running 7th. We're under pressure a little bit from Charles Leclerc. We've got a little bit of room to push with this tyre now. Although Charles Leclerc under pressure now from Alexander Albon, which gives us a little bit of a reprieve. Swapping places, the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Up into 6th place. So we're going to start thinking about going. We've gone through this tyre quite rapidly here. So I'm thinking of going on to the soft to see what we can get out of it, because he's super soft. He's not lasting at all, and Van Dorn we're going to have to get in. He's definitely going to have to go on to the softs. We've got a little bit of risk with the pit stop. That would be a 2.7 second pit stop. That would be a 2.2. We'll risk it for the half a second. But Van Dorn does need to get into the pits this time around. Meanwhile, I think we're going to go the next lap with Sebastian Vettel, see where we can get out of the pits. Obviously, there's a lot of traffic out on track if we come out towards the back end of it, but yeah, we can't risk this tyre much longer. We'll get onto the softs. Obviously, our tyres can last nowhere near as long as that of the Ferrari, although the Ferrari is on the softs. A lot of the other guys on super softs are about the same, so the tyre's wearing out a lot quicker than it said here. We've managed to go. We will be on lap 19 when we come out of the pits. It said around about lap 23. What can we get out of this soft tyre when we have to go soft again at the end of the race? Can we go super soft? I don't think we're going to have to get... don't think we've got the tyre life to go on to a pair of Ultras if we want to two-stop. But Vettel comes out into 22nd place. A little bit of clear air, which is good. Van Dorn is out in last place, but we're on this soft tyre now, which is a pretty slow tyre. Obviously, Leclerc is out on that. He's doing a 122.4. He's picking up the pace, and yeah, we're catching up to the back of Yuri Vips, who is on a super soft at the moment. It's not the best for us at the moment. That is an Aston Martin as well. That's Russell, who has shredded his tyre as well. Russell dives into the pits, way behind his George Russell in that Aston Martin during this race. And Van Dorn sort of caught back up a little bit here as the AI has got him within a little bit of... it's about 2-second distance now to Sebastian Vettel. Let's just leave Van Dorn on the AI, see what the AI can do. We'll concentrate on Sebastian Vettel for this race. Although Van Dorn is catching up, although Van Dorn's going through this tyre a lot quicker, so maybe we're going to have to manage here a little bit more, because these tyres are just... the AI is going through that tyre pretty quickly. We're just going to have to cool Van Dorn. That's why he's catching up so much, because he's really pushing that tyre. And have we got cars in the pits? That's Albon, Schumacher, Albon. Did we get in front of Albon? We did get in front of Albon. Albon's come out onto a pair of super soft. So are we going to be able to get Leclerc here? We are actually still in front of Leclerc, hopefully. If that is a 20-second pit stop, we are still up there with a chance of points for Sebastian Vettel here. Don't really want to push his tyre too much, as we've seen the tyre not holding on at all during this race. But we're doing a 123.2, 122.7. What can we get off this lap? Let's see, let's get up. Is that Vettel? Is that Leclerc in the pits? No, it's not. I thought I saw a red car. Maybe it was one of the Premas or something like that. So a 122.5 to a 123. So we are quicker now. We are getting up there and being a little bit quicker than the Ferrari, although we're slowing down this lap. We're not pushing as much, and we're about to catch a massive amount of traffic here of cars that we could overtake. We've got Vips, Latifi. These cars that were there or thereabouts. Just going to hang on to the back of it a little bit. Cool the tyres down, give us a little bit of room to push on them if we need to. We've got a Renault there that is Esteban Ocon out as well. Right at the back. We're just waiting for Leclerc to get into the pit. So there is a chance of points. Everyone's still close together here. Van Dorn is still cooling down. He's just sort of hanging on to the back of this group at the moment. But if we can get up, we've managed to get Vettel, Ocon. I don't know what's up with Ocon at the moment. He's sliding down the order. If we can get Latifi early on here, is the aim. If we can get... No, and that's Esteban Ocon. Look at that, flying. What happened then? There's no DRS. There's no battery, extra battery power. Just absolutely through past him. Van Dorn is starting to catch up here as well. And that is Newgarden going down the inside of Vettel. Vettel giving up places here. Right, Vettel is starting to struggle. Come on, we need these places back. Get back on the Renault. That is it. Perfect. Now get the Williams as well and get that gap. Get round the outside, maybe push to get... Oh, was that Newgarden again? It was. I want to get past this Williams. Need to get past this Williams here. Come on, we can get Latifi. Come on, Vettel. You can get Latifi. That's it. Bring it in. Get the speed down the straight. And get these tyres back. Get the tyres back there. We're up into 13th place. We've got cars that need to pit. Points still on the table. Van Dorn now behind the Williams. Got to be careful with his tyres though, because he's gone a lot harder. Doesn't have as much room. But we do want the Williams. We do want the Williams. We need to get past that Williams. There we go. We get Latifi. Perfect. So 13th and 14th now. We've got our cars running behind each other. Although we need to manage probably Van Dorn a little bit more than we do Vettel. Alonso is into the pits this time around. Going on to Ultras. A little bit risky. Some cars might be doing a 3-stop here. But he is behind Sebastian Vettel on that pair of Ultras. Fresh pair of Ultras. He should get that pretty easily. The Ultra pretty quick around here. It just doesn't last a very long time as we've seen. Although Verstappen managed to get 16 laps out of it. As we see, Latifi's did 10 laps on the Ultras. So there is some cars that can get quite a bit out of that Ultra if they need it. A lot of cars managed to get a lot more out of that soft tyre as well than we did. Obviously, we were pushing a little bit more in the early going. Maybe that was the reasoning for that. Leclerc, though, is now in the pits and he's out. Look at that, Leclerc, way up the order. That Ferrari managed to pick it up on those laps where we got stuck in traffic. Vettel managed to go a hell of a long time on that soft tyre. 27 laps. 27 laps on that soft tyre. I don't think we're going to be able to get 27 laps out of it. We've gone through about a third of the tyre so far. Yeah, we could do. We could get 27 laps out of this tyre. If we can get another 18 out of this, we might be able to finish the race on Ultras, at least for Sebastian Vettel. We might be able to finish the race on Ultras. If we can get to that point where that is a realistic chance of that happening. Van Dorn about half a second quicker though at the moment, although he was pushing the fuel a little bit more than Vettel. We'll let Vettel push this bit, get the fuel a little bit more equal. But that is Newgarden in front, so we're in a nice handy position here. We do have Newgarden, who looks like he may have to do a 3-stopper. That's going to put him out, which means we could be in a position here to get points if we can go ahead and do that. We've got Leclerc back up into 6th. Hamilton, absolutely amazing for him. He's got himself up into 4th place. Ricciardo already on his 2nd pit stop of the race. Lap 30. Where's he going to get out? He's got a massive gap there to do this, but Ultras again. They're thinking an ultra aggressive strategy is going to work out better here. Whereas since we're lower down the order, we have to be a lot more conservative with our pit stop strategies. But 32 seconds behind the lead now. That's a lot to pick up if he's going to try and get back into that 2nd place. But it is a strong car, Ricciardo. Really strong driver in this game, as in real life. Yeah, it's going to be a push. It's going to be a push to do it. And yeah, we've gone the other way with both these cars now, haven't we? But yeah, let's just get them both on the same strategy, these two cars, unless Vettel can get a little bit closer to this Haas, and then he's going to get the opportunity to push a little bit more. But 11th and 12th is not too bad at this stage of the Grand Prix. Obviously, we're going a lot longer. We're keeping up with the Haas, considering we're on a slower tyre here. He's doing 123s. We're about 6/10 quicker than him. If we can get on the back of him for the end of this lap, we don't really want to push this soft tyre too much. It's a problem because we do want to go Ultras later on, but do want to make this move on this Haas. It doesn't look like we're getting too much closer, although I say that and then we close up and then we get him, as is usual. Vettel gets himself up into the points, pushes Newgarden out of the points. I think Newgarden has scored points this season. He's got 5 points this season so far as Newgarden. This would be another point for Vettel. Would only be 3 points for Sebastian Vettel here. As it is, the championship standings would put Mercedes a lot closer to Ferrari with this result, with Verstappen currently leading Hamilton in third. This would be the best race of the season for Mercedes, who have been disappointing this season, as Ferrari have absolutely romped away with everything. It has been 5 race wins for them. I think, yeah, it is. Leclerc's won 4, Hulkenberg 1. Absolutely brilliant, and Van Dorn has now managed to close up to Joseph Newgarden as well. Will give him the opportunity to get past that Haas. Is Haas slowing down the Ferrari engine in that car? We say that though. No, we can never get past him. We can never get past you, Newgarden. It's never going to happen. We're never going to get past you. And that doesn't work this time. It doesn't work. It usually works if I say something, then the opposite usually happens straight away. I want to make this move on this Haas, but there we go. We fall behind again. We can't go through this tyre too quickly. But Vettel, he's got Alonso in front. Alonso's gone for that Ultra. Don't think we've got much chance of getting there, but we do have a chance of getting VIPs. As this race goes on, we do have a chance of getting VIPs. I think Bottas is too far up the road, and the top 6 is out of the question. But VIPs is gettable here in the AlphaTauri. That is what we're going to push for here. Are we quicker than VIPs? 122, 121.9. What is he doing? Well, he's on a quicker tyre. He's pushing a little bit more. Yeah. He's about to fall off the cliff though. He's Yuri Vips as well. This 15% is going to do a little bit this lap where he's going to slow right down. He's got a Red Bull behind him of Fernando Alonso at the moment. I think he's just about going to make it round here. Is Vips. He's going to make it just about round. Oh, there. Look, you see, it's just gone off the cliff before he gets to the pits. Might bode well for us. We're going to be able to close up that gap. And Vips has gone for an Ultra. Vips has gone for an Ultra, so he's going to have another pit stop on top of this one. So AlphaTauri going ultra aggressive like Ricciardo. He's still 8 seconds behind. And he's still got another, he's got the same amount of pit stops as Ricciardo to do as Norris, you would feel, unless McLaren go for a ultra soft. I don't think they will do. I don't think the AI would put Norris on a pair of ultras here, because Norris is in a good position for a, not really a podium, because I think it's going to go Verstappen. Sainz is above him, obviously, 17 seconds, although they're getting pretty close. No, Sainz does have to pit again, doesn't it? I thought Sainz had already done one of his stops, but he hasn't. So Norris could be on for a podium here. Obviously, that does depend on him staying ahead of Lewis Hamilton, although Leclerc has gotten pretty quick, but Leclerc's got another pit stop to do as well. He's got an ultra, so Leclerc does have to pit as well. So a McLaren could be on the podium here, which would be a good result. And meanwhile, we've got Van Dorn up into 10th as well, with Vips being into the pits. So it might still be on here. It might still be on for a double points finish. This Red Bull seemingly not as strong around this track either. Red Bull not having the sort of season they thought they would be having, as that is 14th. That is Bottas who's peeled into the pits. Is Bottas out in traffic? That would be the major thing if Bottas is coming out in traffic. He's on a super soft, should see him through to the end of the race. Maybe a super soft can see you through to the end of the race. Obviously, he's got a dodgy neck. His fitness is going to be there. He's going to be slowing down as the race goes on. So is Bottas gettable here? 20 laps to go. Ultra 7. I can't risk the Ultra though. 17 laps, considering we only managed to get 17 and 18 out of that super soft. Maybe a super soft is doable though, and we've recovered the fuel now, so we might as well push a little bit. Since we're starting to think about coming in, the soft can go down to 10%, I believe. Hopefully it can go down to 10%. Van Dorn's still going pretty quick here. Maybe we'll get him in, because I don't think he's going to be able to get a super soft through to the end of the race. There's 22. Maybe soft, give him some room to push on a soft. Oh, it's a little bit hard, isn't it? Maybe we'll hand back. Maybe we'll hand back. Oh, it's going to be hard, a super soft. It's going to be hard to do. I think we've got another lap that we can do on this soft though. We've got another lap. Yeah, we'll push from there. And we're going to have to go soft just in case. We don't really want to make another pit stop. Obviously, there still is some risk in the pit stop as well. And meanwhile, Vettel is still here in 8th place. Sainz has made his second pit stop. Still waiting on the front of the order to make their pit stop. Verstappen is going to be the first one to react out of these top three, although he's got a massive gap. He's going to be coming out just behind Norris. Verstappen's just running away with this race, as we see Van Dorn in the pits, all complete, absolutely perfect. It's going to be Vettel that they're going to mess up the pit stop for, isn't it? It's going to be Vettel, and I want to push him. I don't want to lose that half a second through the pits. Verstappen gets out in second place, just behind Lando Norris. Good pit stop there. So I think we're going to be able to go super sauce with Vettel. I think we can get another, if we can see what we can get, 20%, 19. Can we get another 2 laps out of this tyre? As you see, a lot of the cars coming into the pits. As we come around, we're going to be able to get another lap out of this if we don't push it too much. And then we can get on to... Oh, I want to go ultras, but it's going to be a little bit tight. But obviously the track grip is a little bit better. As we've seen though, Ricciardo's done 14 and 15. Our tyre weight is not up there with the upper order. 15 laps is possibly the average. It's going to be 16. Yeah, we're going to go super, and then it'll give us some room to push if we need to as well. We can push on that super soft, as Alonso's coming into the pits as well. Yeah, there's no point taking a massive risk with the car. Van Dorn, we're just going to have to cool down a little bit. We're behind that Williams. Is that Magnussen? We're behind. He's coming into the pit, so we don't have to push too much to get past him. Although we've got Ocon behind on a quicker tyre. Behind at the moment. We've got out of the danger zone, and we're complete with Vettel. He's going to get back out of the pits. Can we get back out? Still in the points as well. We've managed to jump there. Have we jumped Alonso in the pits? Is that what happened? We've got a car in front. That is Yuri Vips back in front. He does have to pit. We do want to get past him on track though as well, which means we do have room to push, get on the back of Vips there. Van Dorn is currently 13th. There's a Schwartzman in front. Schumacher, he can jump. And we can't jump there, so... Yeah, points may be still on, but it depends on who else here decides to pit towards the end of the race. Who's on a 3-stop strategy and who's on a 2. A 3-stop doesn't seem to be one that's working too well around here. But Vettel, meanwhile, is defending from Alonso. He's not able to catch up to Yuri Vips at the moment. Obviously, we don't get a good idea. And there goes Alonso through. Puts Vettel into 10th place. We're just going to hold back a little bit now. We don't want to push too much in this early going. We've managed to get ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Now Bottas, stuck in traffic, may have to pit as well again. Norris sets the quickest lap on his fresh pair of super softs. Could be a second place on the cards here for Lando Norris. Hamilton does have to pit, would be about 27. He's possibly going to go ultras, so is Hamilton. So it might get a little bit close towards the end of the race as we finish this race. So that is who is in the pits now. That is Mick Schumacher. He's going to come out, should put Van Dorn up into 12th. He's on a pair of ultras, but he's slipping down the order. So Van Dorn is up into 12th now. Vips does have to pit again. Bottas might do. Schwartzman definitely does. So yeah, we could have both cars up in the points. We could have an 8th place here for Sebastian Vettel. I don't think we've got the pace to keep up there. No chance we've got the pace to keep up Fernando Alonso on a pair of ultras. So if we just sit here at the moment, we're keeping pace over that Alpha is what we want to do. Yeah, so we just clear there with that, and then we're going to get pushing with Van Dorn. We can't really push the tyres though, can we? We're going to get pushing on the fuel a little bit to see if we can stay away from this Renault. We've got Esteban Ocon breathing down the neck of Stoffel Van Dorn, and there we go. We're just pulling away nicely here with Stoffel Van Dorn. He's going to quicken up over this lap. 1.2 seconds quicker than his last lap. He did a 1:22.3 last time around. This time around he does a 1:27. 1:20.7. Great lap for him. Moves away from the Renault. Ocon has lost that place. No, he hasn't. I think that was Newgarden going past him. No, it wasn't. That is Mick Schumacher going past him on that pair of ultras. Schumacher flying in that Ferrari-powered Prema. Meanwhile, Vettel is 9th. We're still waiting on Vips to make this pit stop. He's got to get off that ultra at some point. No point pushing to get that gap closed up. We don't really need to worry about the AlphaTauri in front of us. He does need to pit. Whereas we've got that nice gap now. Schumacher stopped pushing, he has, so we should be able to hold that gap over Mick Schumacher. It's 1.4 at the start of this lap. What is it going to be over the next lap? 1.5. Is he starting to slip away? He's going between pushing and not pushing. 1.4, and yes, we're holding that gap pretty well. And there we go, Van Dorn is up into 10th place as Vips does come into the pits. So there we go, both cars into the top 10. This will be a second double point finish of the season if we can keep going here. Hopefully we're not going to have any mishaps, no cars running wide. Van Dorn, it looks like he's going to be able to get to the end of the race pretty handily. He's got a lot of room to push on that soft tyre as Van Dorn. Maybe he could have gone with the supers, although it might have been a little close. And look, Mick Schumacher closing that gap. Mick Schumacher flying in that Prema on that pair of Ultras. Yeah, we're going to have to push this tyre out to stay ahead of Mick. Yeah, Mick shooting for points. I don't think he's got a point this season. Is Mick Schumacher? No. Prema, do they have a point? No, because yeah, Schwartzman hasn't got a point either. So Prema looking for their first point, and if it does, it will be us that would be the victim. Whereas we do have room to push with this tyre, so maybe we should try and close up with Valtteri Bottas here. Vettel is sort of in a little bit of a world of his own at the moment. There's 7 seconds to Fernando Alonso in front, 5 seconds back to Valtteri Bottas. Don't really have to worry about Vettel at the moment. He sets his quickest third sector. So it's just about managing these tyres. Hopefully we've got enough to keep pushing to stay ahead of Mick Schumacher. He is absolutely flying on that pair of Ultras, although looks like he's used a lot of fuel here, so maybe we can try get away from him a little bit now, because we'll keep in this mode. Just keeping this mode for a few laps. And Mick is coming here. Mick Schumacher coming, hunting him down. Shades of his father here, trying to hunt down this 10th place to get his first points finish in Formula 1. Could it happen here in South Africa? Oh, this tyre is getting too hot. His tyre, and Schumacher's going all out on that Ultra. Schumacher is going all out on that Ultra. Come on, where's Ricciardo gone? Ricciardo's gone 5th, having to do that 3-stop strategy. Hasn't worked out being ultra aggressive on that Ultra. It's been worked out really well for Schumacher being ultra aggressive. But Ricciardo's lost out on a podium here. Norris, look at that, the McLaren up there. Mercedes top 4. McLaren, Mercedes in 2nd and 4th, and the Mercedes Works team in 1st and 3rd. Where are the other Mercedes teams? We've got Aston Martin just off the pace today, Stroll and Russell. Yeah, Williams, Magnussen back down here, Latifi's 16th as well. But a really good day for the Mercedes engines powered team. Like we see Vettel just in a world of his own here. We're keeping Van Dorn ahead. It looks like Mick is giving up the ghost on these Ultras. He pushed all out to see what he could get. Is he giving up on these Ultras? Gonna have to be careful with the fuel as well. We've got a lot of room to push with Vettel here. Should we just see how quick he can go? This lap he's doing a 124. Let's give him some room to push here. Done a 124. Let's keep him in medium until he's sort of near here. So this lap he's doing a 124. What can we get out of Vettel? Obviously speeds up over the last sector there. And yeah, Mick's hanging about a second back. Is he trying to cool down to have one last go? Should we try do the same here? Or should we build our gap now? About 3/10 quicker here over the first part of this lap. It's not a quickest first sector for Vettel. But if we can get into the 119s here. Leclerc is quickest on the track at the moment. I don't think he's got the fastest lap of the race. We're still holding that gap. Vettel does a 1:18.9. Well, the quickest lap of the race, but quickest car out on track at the moment. And we're not going to be able to make that. We're not going to be able to make that stick. Whereas Van Dorn is there. Oh, is this Albon coming back now? It's Albon coming back on that super soft. We're going to have to go for it now. We've got a Red Bull behind us now. And a Renault. Ocon coming back, trying to push his super soft. Schumacher went all out on the Ultras. Who's this coming in? Sainz is coming in. McLaren have given up. The tyres have given up on Sainz. He's had to come in. Gets out into 6th place. So 2 inside the top 4 is not going to work out this race for McLaren. Ricciardo is getting a little bit low on these Ultras as well. 20%. These Ultras are about to give up the ghost for Ricciardo. So Leclerc could get back into the top 4 here. Oh, Verstappen's pitted. Verstappen's coming to the pits. He's 5 seconds behind. Verstappen's pitted. Final lap. Norris and Hamilton so close, going through the back markers. Van Dorn is up into 9th. Someone else is pitted as well. Who else is pitted? I don't know, but we're in 9th place now. Van Dorn is hanging on. Just going to have to watch the fuel. You don't really have to watch the tyre. Oh, I want to watch this at the front. Is Norris... No, Norris has lost out to Hamilton here. Norris has lost out to Hamilton. Going through the back markers. It's going to be a race to the line. Norris coming back here. Norris coming back. Is Norris going to win? This is it. This is it. That's it. Norris wins. McLaren stole it. Verstappen. Look at that. He got back to within 1.6 seconds. Vettel has moved up as well. Vettel has moved up. Alonso has shredded those tyres. Alonso's gone off the boil. I don't think Van Dorn's got the pace to catch up to him. So Vettel gets himself up into 7th place. I don't think Van Dorn's going to get close to Alonso here. The Red Bull running out of tyre before the end of the race. Can't believe that. Absolutely outstanding Norris. McLaren win a race this season before the actual Mercedes works team do. Absolutely outstanding for McLaren. Absolutely outstanding for Norris. It's like you're excited for Norris. It's a fictional character in this game. He's not, well, not fictional, but just a computer character. But you know, sort of happy that Norris has won it. Absolutely outstanding. So 7th and 9th, that is really good for us. Overall, a win for Norris. Mercedes picking up the pace 2nd and 3rd. That's a lot better than they've done recently. Ferrari struggling. Leclerc managed to get himself back up the order. Hulkenberg, where is Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg. Did something happen to Hulkenberg? Last place for a Ferrari. Totally off the pace here. And both Red Bulls managed to get into the point. Alonso's tyre running out before the end. And one Renault outside the points. And Ricciardo. That 3 stop didn't work out for Renault at all here, did it? So there we go. We've got our 2 guys, 11th and 12th. Not bad. Van Dorn. Still been a little bit better, but Vettel was a little bit better in that race than Van Dorn was. There we go. We cement our 6th place spot. We've got a lot of gap over the cars behind. It looks like Aston Martin, even though they've got a pretty decent car. They're sort of failing a little bit, as are Williams. Just when it comes to race pace, they're not getting there. Renault 5th, Red Bull 4th, McLaren moved themselves up into 3rd place. Absolutely outstanding. Where was Norris in the charts? 5th place for Norris. Absolutely outstanding for him. So McLaren looking like they're cementing themselves as one of the top teams once again here. Obviously, it's still Ferrari and Mercedes out at front. Mercedes have closed that gap up a little bit, but Ferrari still 56 points ahead of Mercedes here after the 6th race of the season. Vettel still not happy with a 7th place. Is he expecting to be higher up than that in this Audi? Obviously, we're not the quickest car. Our 2 cars are like the 13th and 14th, quickest on the grid. Van Dorn is happy with his 9th place. Yeah, and there we go. Losing our usual 1.3 million. And just confirmation of Norris winning. So yeah, a really good race there. We've got Vancouver coming up, obviously. It's not a track that suits our car, but hopefully we can get something out of that. We're currently 11th and 12th overall in the driver's standing. 6th overall in the constructor's standing, which is where I was sort of hoping to be. I was hoping to sort of keep pace with McLaren. But McLaren's just having an absolutely outstanding season this season. I don't think we've got any chance of closing that gap unless we can make some massive improvements to our car, obviously. We're just sort of keeping pace with what the AI is doing to their car at the moment, not really making any real gains. Hopefully we can make a big gain with the engine by the time we get to Germany. It's not a crucial part for that track, but hopefully we can close that little bit of a gap. But yeah, that is where we're going to leave things today. Absolutely outstanding race for us, outstanding race for Norris. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you down the road in Vancouver for the Canadian Grand Prix. But until then, goodbye.